The next gladiator to take the fall by 1 vote is Morgan.
You like playing the harmonica?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Finish it.
Okay. I kind of
Fuck yeah. Also, can we is that, I'm gonna get yelled at if it falls off the table.
More minutes. You don't want to go first? No, I think you're gonna get rid of this.
Didn't figure it out.
Next time. Are they not going to be used?
So proud of your green North Face flag. In the very front pocket, there is a clear cylinder. There are joint clears.
I'm overdoing it.
Now we know. Somewhere over here.
Oh!
Come on, kids, you got it!
Close. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. 1 for Johnny. Rock, paper, ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. What is up, y'all? It is Queen Bee, Season 1 winner, current host of Season 3, and head game maker overall of the Gauntlet franchise. Thank you very much. Now, if you are just tuning in, we have had a great season so far, and a lot has happened. So I am here to go over the major moments of Phase 1 of this game, as well as state the facts on where things are currently going into Phase 2. Then I will offer my personal commentary on each gladiator's individual game thus far and what I think they need to do to make a move in the second half. Let's get into it. Welcome to Queen Bee Breakdown. Now, I don't want to miss a thing, so I've got my notes. They're on the floor. I've got my notes, and we're going to start right at the top. In Cycle 1, that triple elimination right off the bat certainly threw the gladiators for a loop. And if you weren't safe, you were exposed, bitch. It was no game. Poor Kaylee ended up the only female on a whole team dominated by males. Like, talk about a sausage fest. and had no chance in saving herself from that elimination. Yeah, sorry about that, girl. Hope you'll come back to play. In a surprising elimination, a Titan from season 2, Mad Dog Mata Larson, was voted out by her tribe, the Blue Barracudas. And I can't help but feel as if there was some strategery going on in that one. And then poor Mike, the Barbarian of the Purple Parrots. That's just the way the cookie crumbled there. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Right off of Cycle 1, in the Maxi Challenge, we had a sudden disqualification right at the end of the game. Killer Miller killed her game and that of her compatriots on her tribe, her fellow gladiators, when she purposefully, with her leg, knocked a can off the podium instead of using a tennis ball. In Cycle 4, we start to see some of the gladiators really start to stand out from the crowd. Among them is Alex Baker, a Rolo 2005, who not only won the mini game, but was a Maxi Challenge standout, having stood the longest out of any gladiator on one leg while holding a upside down solo cup with ping pong balls on top. And I made them add more as time went on. It is a double-edged sword, those successes, because you start to paint a target on yourself, as we all know. And then we come to Cycle 5 with a tribe swap. With 12 gladiators left in the game, we reset to 6 and 6, and the tribe going into the tribe swap with the lowest number of gladiators lost their coach. Poor Dutchman came to the end of the road in his game as a mentor. That would not be the only shocker this cycle from a coach. But before we get to that, I gave the gladiators the option of sending 2 gladiators home from one tribe or one from each tribe in what would firmly be a double elimination regardless. They ultimately chose one from each tribe. Would I have made the same decision? Who can say? I'm not playing. I already have my crown. After the challenge, it's Lucia and Johnny in the bottom on one tribe, and Ryan and Carly in the bottom on the other. So we've got a male-female on both sets, and ultimately one female goes home and one male goes home, but only because of some gaggery at tribal council during the vote. Lucia used her extra vote to vote for Johnny twice, which then made Johnny use his block of vote, blocking Rolo's vote, who he did indeed vote for Johnny, as we know. As we saw, suddenly it's tied. Now, if you watch reality competition shows, especially Survivor, at a tie vote, if they don't make them re-vote, they make them draw rocks and then someone randomly goes home. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This ain't that. And in Queen Bee's Gauntlet, it's up to the coaches to keep their tribes organized. So, in a shocking twist, Coach Joshua Demon Twink evicted his own player. A shocking twist indeed. Do I regret it? Not even a little bit. Then we come to Cycle 6. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I love this episode. I love this cycle. Moves were made. It was incredible. Let's get into it. It was objectively a hard maxi challenge, and they performed so well. Those puzzles, especially for making them do them individually. Ooh, I am so rude. But I do it again. Tribal was, for somebody, exactly as planned. For many others, could not have been more not planned, as they say. You've got the majority of the votes on Jeff, with a secondary vote majority on Ryan. Jeff plays his idol, Ryan plays his idol, and there's only one other name in the vote pile, and there's only one vote for that person. And that was, unfortunately, season 2 bronze medalist JP Morgan. Shocking, gagged, gooped. Even the person who made it all happen, Rolo 2005, could not believe his eyes at what he had done. But it is my favorite move of the game so far. Huge game-changing move. And that poor purple tribe, though, just cannot catch a break. Now, before we get into individual immunity challenges, I offered the eliminated contestants one chance to come back in the game. And who should rise to the occasion of a beer pong sudden death face-off but Johnny Boy, Johnny Garcia, who came back in the game. Now, I just want to point out, though, we had to move to rock, paper, scissors in this sudden death beer pong tournament. Not once, not twice, but almost a third time. Because this group of millennials somehow forgot how to play beer pong. Who would have thought? Now that we've gone over the major moments of phase 1, let's dig in a little deeper and state the facts, as it were. I've got my notes again, don't mind if I glance. We have the red Jaguars, going into the merge 5 strong. They are dominating. Meanwhile, purple parrots are going into the merge with 2. They have seriously taken a hit. Lost 4 members of their tribe from the original tribe draw. You hate to see it. But can they continue their games? We shall find out. You've also got a very unbalanced gender breakdown with 8 men and 2 women going into the merge after, as Joshua put it, a rapid fire elimination of the women in phase 1 of the game, which I can't disagree. That is what happened. I don't know whose fault it was, but it happened. Now, these facts may be a little surprise to some gladiators who may be watching this back, but I do want to go over where I know some idols to be. As we all saw, 2 of the 6 immunity idols in the game have already been used, successfully even, Jeff and Ryan, 1 and 2. Now there are 2 other people in this game who have 2 each for the total of 6. Rolo, 2005, found 1 in the wild very early on, and then during the second maxi challenge in the cash box, I hid in each one an immunity idol. That's where Ryan found his, that's where Rolo found his second, and that is where Jess, Amazon Warrior number 2, found her first. Now, you may also remember from episode 1 a zoom in of a certain breakfast bar fruit tray with muffins on it. And Little Miss Amazon Warrior number 2 just happened to grab the right little tart, pulled it up, and what should be underneath but an immunity idol. Now, no one knows she has these. She hasn't told anyone, but I am excited to see how she may use these to her advantage. We'll find out. We also have these 6 major super advantages that I introduced into the game during the last mini game of phase 1. Each of them holds a very unique specific power. So I'm very interested to see who is going to use theirs and when. So, all things considered, a lot of the players are doing a really great job. But I do want to just take a moment to highlight who my standouts are, who I feel is running middle of the pack, and who needs to pick up the pace, okay? At the top of the board, Permet is Rolo 2005, Dr. Silver, Amazon Warrior number 2, and Johnny Boy. Now, I have different reasons for each. Rolo, I think his strategic game is second to none at this point. His move to get Morgan out was I reason to say, the most shocking elimination thus far. He also has a minigame win, was a standout in a maxi challenge, and he has 2 hidden immunity idols that he has not had to use yet. Will he need to? We'll find out. Now, Dr. Silver, his physical threat level is through the roof, and the gladiators seem to think so as well, because if he had not used his idol successfully, he would have gone home. I'm very interested to see how he fares in the second half, because he will surely be a physical threat in these challenges, but should he not win one, will he be eliminated? Who can say? Amazon Warrior number 2, her social game is second to none. No one is touching it right now. In a tribe where they have seen quite a few losses, it does not seem as if she has ever felt uncomfortable at the vote. Oftentimes, I kind of feel a certain leadership vibe in leading the vote in the way that she needed to. And with 2 immunity idols hidden, and mum's the word for her on that, those could really come into play pretty successfully in the second half. So I'm interested to see whether or not people sort of start to peg her social game as a major threat against their own game in general. Running middle of the pack, Perme is Rocket Man at the top of this group, followed by Dark Phoenix, Old Can, and Big Loosh. Now, all of these players have had some success in the Gauntlet thus far, but I'm still waiting for them to really make a standout move. For Ryan, yes, of course, he played an idol correctly, but I'm really rooting for him to get a challenge win in phase 2 of this game. Dark Phoenix had a standout in the first challenge as one of the 3 gladiators who won individual immunity, a very crucial opening part of the game, but has since sort of taken a back seat. Not that his tribe has had really huge moments of pressure, because they dominated challenges as a group in the first half of the game. The same can be said for Old Can in that same vein, as someone who has really contributed a lot to the success of their tribe, but hasn't necessarily had a standout moment of their own in the game thus far. And with Big Loosh, she was really pushed to the edge in that vote against Johnny, and by the skin of her teeth survived, in part because of her use of an extra vote. But I am also waiting for her to step up and make some big strategic moves, and maybe, win a challenge in this second half. At the bottom of the path, who the 2 gladiators I feel Perme need to pick up the pace, is Sloan the Great and Nick Nazke. These 2 gladiators have really taken a back seat the whole game. Sloan, who has been open a bit more to elimination, has been quick to just go along with the majority to save his own status in the game. And with Nick Nack, of course, again, the Red Tribe dominated, and there was not a lot of opportunity for them to be strategizing against each other. But if that's the case, perhaps there's an opportunity for the social game to be that much more important going into the merge. Now, this is all tea, no shade from Queen Bee. If it's too bitter, add some honey, bitch. Thanks so much for sticking around and watching the Queen Bee breakdown. Make sure to watch the next episode for the continuation of the Gauntlet Season 3 Summer Vacation.
I'm voting for James mostly out of self-preservation because I think Most people are gonna vote for him as the weakest, and I think if it's not me, it's gonna be him. So I'm hoping that I'm still here. Sorry, James.